Welcome to Life by the Page podcast. Today we have an exciting guest, a very prominent figure in the music industry, Mohammed K Paika. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today. Mohammed is not only a physician, but also an award-winning singer, songwriter, composer, and engineer whose music spans across the world, spiritual and fusion genres. His work, including songs like So Many Divisions and Purpose of Life, addresses universal themes of unity, humanity, and spirituality. Today, we'll be diving into your musical journey and your inspirations and the powerful messages behind your latest releases. So just coming up into your musical journey, you come from a musical family and started very young, I'm sure. Like how did your early experiences shape your musical style and what was it like transitioning from a family influence um, by Bollywood to crafting your unique fusion sound?
Yeah, well, I want to thank you first, Lang Hill, for allowing me to come on board and interview with you and be on this show or podcast that's going to be online. So thank you very much and highly appreciate it. It's a pleasure to know you as well and find out more about you. But yeah, so my musical journey began when I was very young. My family originally were from my roots are from India, so we relocated to the U.S. in the 80s, and I was just a kid when I moved to the U.S. when we immigrated there. So I was around 5 years old, and we immigrated in 1985. So we relocated to New Mexico and for business purposes, and my dad started a jewelry business basically in New Mexico. And so my schooling has been primarily in the United States. I started second grade in the US and then went all the way through to college and pursued my engineering degree. And then after that, went on to pursue medicine. But music has been in our background. My uncle was actually a singer, a performer from India, and he had some connections in the industry as well over there. So he would perform even in New Mexico with his band. So we kind of got exposed to music early on. And in the 80s, we had, obviously the famous American artists that we were listening to, Michael Jackson and all of those famous artists. So we had a very, very strong upbringing in music, and I was exposed to American music, also Bollywood music, and also music from Mexico because I was in New Mexico. So I was in a diverse area with people from India, Caucasians, Mexicans, as well as Native Americans, original Americans that were here, and they have reservations in New Mexico. So already, I was part of a diverse environment. And myself, I went to a Christian middle school, so I had training in Christianity, and we had to read the Bible and go to church and all that. So that was a very beautiful time and experience that I had. And then I was exposed to Buddhism through my Taekwondo master. And so I learned about meditation, Tai Chi, and all that when I was in high school. And so during my early years, I started off, we would do songs, Bollywood songs and English songs. We would try to do karaoke parties at home. And that's how I kind of got involved into singing and getting into instruments, keyboards. We bought a keyboard when I was in my teens, and me and my friend we would just hang out together, try to compose some stuff. And at the same time, when I was in Taekwondo and Tai Chi, we had a master. His name was Mokurai or Master Meggs, David Meggs, and he was into music as well. So he was into piano, and so I started off doing a lot of religious chanting, um, Buddhist chanting, Christian chanting, Gothic chanting. cathedral type of chanting, the chants, and then also the Islamic chants. So I got into that, and we had kind of a cappella band, if you will, in high school when I was in high school. So I gave my part of it, which was the Islamic part. So I did a lot of Quranic recitations, and I would also partake in the Christian chants and Hindu chants. So um, we had a very beautiful band, a cappella band. We actually ended up going to a studio and recording a CD. So back then, this was in the 2000s, so 2001. So at that time, there was no Facebook or Spotify or YouTube or anything like that. So we had to we rented out a studio, and then someone gave us a donation to go and record a CD. And then I remember that once we had that CD, hard copy, it was recorded on disk drives and everything. So once we had that hard copy, we went out to the local stores in New Mexico to try to get it on the shelves to sell. And we had like three or four stores that we had locally to get our CD out. So that's how it all started with the music. And then at the same time, I was doing some composing with my friend. We had some songs in our bank. Didn't really release anything because the industry was difficult. Obviously, back then you had to know someone or have strong connections. It wasn't as easy as it is now, where you could just make a song and just put it out right away. So um, fast forward to 2008, YouTube came out, right? Came about, and that's where, people started getting involved in uh, putting out music videos because obviously people had the chance to do that, and we're very grateful to social media and all that. So, in the meantime, I went to med school. I did engineering, did worked at Honeywell Defense, IBM, a couple of companies. Decided that I wanted to switch majors to medicine because I had a passion to serve humanity. So I went off to med school. Still did some singing here and there and local gatherings, and even in my med school, I did a performance kind of thing. So I was still with music. And when I finished my residency, I had kind of decided to kind of get back into it slowly. So that's when I was trying to gather equipment, the right equipment to record and all that. And I ended up releasing my first a cappella album in 2015. It's called The Most Merciful, and that was a basically recitations from the Holy Quran and some English translations of that. So that was my first kind of comeback. And then after that, I released my first album, which was called Unity. And that had kind of what I stand for, which is trying to unify, because I had something because of my background, I saw that people were from different cultures and religions, and people were good. There were good people everywhere, and they all had a way that worked for them. And I always didn't understand why, if you were part of one faith, why you couldn't understand that another faith also maybe, on the right track, or they may have something that which you don't have. So my music kind of wanted to unify people from the beginning. And so that's where so many divisions came in. And that song talks about disunity among humanity, also among the different Muslim sects, and also the, entertains the fact that we all essentially believe in the same God. We just call that God different names. And that's what kind of disunifies us in a way. But the essence of that album was unity with human beings in general, also unity with your family. I had a song for my wife in that album as well, and for my kids. So that was my kind of first musical album. And I had worked with a local producer in New York, Carl Dennis,
Sure.
and we had did we worked together for some of those songs. And then, I slowly started to make more songs, got into more of pop and, modern music. And I've released rest for the rest of our lives and love and MH1, MH2, MH3, which were love albums, which is also something I stand for, which is kind of having a positive approach towards marriage and your spouse. And I wanted to sing songs for my spouse and also share that with the rest of the world. So kind of, it was more of a attempt to unify uh, people with love because we see a lot of people distancing themselves from um, marriages and things like that. So that was more of that side of things in terms of why those songs were released. But I love music in general, so I love experimenting. And now we have the most recent release, which is Just Human. I don't know if you've seen the song or not, but
Oh, I've seen the
it's
song.
based.
That's what I was trying to get into, because I've just seen like the way you like I don't know, introduce the songs into some nature where it just enters so many different cultures. It's just so good to hear. It's like that's why I want to focus more on your work. Like it blends with spiritual messages, with a broader like philosophical questions, especially songs like "Purpose of Life." I've been listening to some of the music. I think it's
Yes,
just so super incredible. Yeah, I mean you have more than
thank you,
4 million subscribers, and like you're doing great thing, and
thank
it's
you,
this
thank
music
you.
that you should be listening to. Not only more like like the songs that you introduce into the culture. It's not only songs of you know dancing and stuff like that, but it's more of meditation. It's more of unity, more of peaceful nature. Like, can you discuss the philosophical ideas that guide your work, and how do you convey these deep, universal questions through your music?
Yeah, I know. So it comes through with the thought, obviously, purpose of life was during kind of during COVID, and we saw people dying all the time. And I still work as a physician, so I saw a lot of deaths. And we contemplate when we see death, we contemplate life, and we contemplate what the purpose of life is, because we see that people are unnecessarily in arguments or fighting with each other for money or power or whatever it is. And they fail to understand what the true purpose is, why you're here. And that's I think that's the disconnect today is people are not understanding why they're here. They're so limited by, whatever these teachings are. And sometimes those teachings can lead you astray and block you from seeing another person in a positive light. So I feel the bad side about uh, religious extremism is that you don't view another person as a human being. And so that was a message I wanted to focus on with Just Human is, hey, let's get rid of all of this. Okay, you are part of this faith or this sect, or, and it could be with your sect too. You're a human being. In the end of the day, that's what binds us together. We're the same blood. It doesn't matter what my, skin color is or where I'm from. And that was why God created us in the first place, is to understand and learn from each other. And he made us different for a reason. He made, you know, me brown, or he made someone white or, black in color for a reason. So we know each other. So we understand God and how powerful God is, and the fact that he can give people different attributes. And he can give, like, for example, people in Africa have they're strong. God has given them certain attributes that other people don't have. They're tall, they're muscular. They have, and that's why they're good in sports, for example. They're also very intelligent at the same time. Um, we had Barack Obama here, who had African lineage, so um, very intelligent man. So we have people from all cultures that are positive minded, and we need to learn from each other. And God has given all of us a certain talent. For example, you may have a talent of interviewing people or doing these podcasts, or I don't know what else you do, but you have certain something that I don't have. You have something that God has given you, and it's up to you to find that and look into it, and then share that with humanity in a positive way. And I think that's kind of the purpose of life is to share what you have in a positive way and to call humanity towards goodness. And we don't need to label ourselves. We don't need to label. People know me as Muhammad. They may think, hey, Muhammad, okay, he's Muslim. He thinks in a certain way. So people have already labeled me or, in a certain
Yeah,
way
sure, sure.
because they don't
Yeah.
understand that you have to look at the human being. So I could be named John. I could be named, a number. It doesn't matter what I'm named or what my lineage or what my religion is. Am I a good human being? Do I have a positive message? Am I trying to change humanity? Am I trying to benefit humanity? Is what I need to be looking for in someone else and in myself. So,
I mean,
and
you're doing incredible work, man. You're a physician and an artist. Like, that's a unique combination. Like, how do you manage the balance between your career in medicine and your passion for music? Does your experience as a physician influence
yeah,
your
so
music in any way?
no, so it is difficult, definitely, because I have to work at the same time, work Monday to Friday. On my off times when I'm not working is when I'm doing my music stuff. So I'm not at the level yet where I'm a full-time musician, and I'm still working towards that, and doing this on the side. Obviously, because I'm an independent artist, so I fund myself in whatever I need to do. But if I have a message, I want to bring that to the world. That's kind of my purpose. I feel that's my purpose, even as a doctor, even as a human being. And as physicians, we don't discriminate, right? We're treating all kinds of people. And the same thing goes for music. Uh, People will listen to your music if it's good, regardless of where you're from, who you are. I love music because of that. People don't discriminate when it comes to music. Um, so yeah, no, balancing is always difficult. You just have to kind of make time. Sometimes I work late hours, like you're working, like late hours, till 9, 10 o'clock, 11, 12 o'clock. And if I'm doing something with my music, I don't take a lot of vacations. But music in itself is kind of like a break for me, just trying to compose, think of songs, uh, groove, do some videos. Yeah, that's kind of like a break, a vacation for me in a way.
Yeah,
So
sounds interesting, man. But I want to get into like the other parts where, like you mentioned, like yeah, that your father's passing like deeply impacted you. Like yet you've turned that
yes.
grief into a positive message in your songs. Like how has music acted as a form of healing for you? And do you believe that it can offer the same for your listeners and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do. And yes, my dad's passing was I took a big hit and actually have a song. It's called Walide El Habiban, my beloved parents. But the video is was made when after my father died. So that song has a very personal kind of touch to me. And the lyrics have to do with my father. So um, my music is about me. It's about, who I am, my family, my wife, my thoughts. And that's kind of what motivates me to write these different types of the songs. And I feel that if I have said something in my music, there will be someone else that identifies with me some way or another, that thinks the same way as I do. And especially with Just Human, I've noticed that a lot of people think this way nowadays.
That's a song,
And
man.
people are
That's
breaking
it's a
away from,
it's like
yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Please share it to as many people as you know, because it's more of a message to humanity. And it's kind of like, we're just trying to tell them to break that shell and that wall which you have with someone else. Just be a human being. If you have a Jewish neighbor, go hug your neighbor. You got a Christian neighbor, go hug your neighbor. You got a black neighbor, go hug your neighbor. You got a white neighbor, go hug your neighbor. Whatever it is. So we're just trying to make people understand and break that ice. And that's what this song, it's a message. The song is a message. It's not just any song that you want to dance to. It has a message, and I'm very grateful that I was able to do something like this with a good producer. His name is Kyle Townsend, and he's been involved with many great artists in the U.S., as you know. And I'm very grateful that he actually was wanting to work with me, and also grateful to the team that we had. We had some dancers on board. We had also the cinema production suite, and everyone really did a lot of hard work for this video. It just wasn't me. Obviously, I did the songwriting and I did the singing, and it was my idea. But then after that, you have to involve other people to kind of get that message out in a positive way. So, yeah, so we had,
I
people
mean
from different
it was.
cultures, races involved in this video. This was like a unified video.
I mean, I've listened to it over 2 weeks. It had like over 3 million like viewers, so it's really touching people. And I'm just seeing the comments, just so groundbreaking. Like your music, like often touches on bridging divides, whether they be religious, cultural, or political, which reminds me of the famous book Bhagavad Gita. I'm sure you resonate with it on teachings on duty and unity through a higher purpose. Like how does
Yes.
that this idea of universal unity play into the creative process now, the writing down the scripts behind your album Unity? I mean, the
Yeah,
Bhagavad Gita, the scripture delves into the nature, righteousness, and living a life of purpose.
exactly. So the teachings that we have are there. We just need to implement them, such as Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, what Jesus said, the Torah, the Quran. We just need to use the positive teachings that we have and implement them because the teachings are there. It's just that people haven't understood religion. They haven't understood religion. They only see one aspect is, oh, we are different and that person is different. So we're going to go to heaven and they're going to go to hell. That's all they see. And they miss the whole point of religion, which is to share, love one another, is to share that love with each other and to be a source of guidance for humanity. And also understand God is most forgiving, right? He's most forgiving. And it's not up to you or me to judge anyone. He's the one who will judge. And He created all of us equally with His Spirit, whether no matter what faith you're from, we have no right to judge someone and then destroy them or whatever it is. So that's kind of the message that we have. And Bhagavad Gita and all of these things, Buddhist teachings, preach positive things, right? They preach positive things. And obviously, my upbringing is I have an Indian upbringing and learned from Islamic sources, Christian sources, Buddhist sources. So I'm very, very thankful and grateful that I was able to learn from all these different sources and understand that every source essentially says the same thing. in a different way. I don't know what your background is. What do you practice are you part of any denomination or?
Oh, me, I'm a valid Christian. I praise the God, Almighty Jesus Christ. The Bible says it,
Okay.
as a man thinketh, so is he. So your thoughts leads to actions, your actions lead to habits, your habits leads to lifestyle, and lifestyle is going to determine who you are or you're going to become. So I believe in God. I believe that we are born on some magical force that is ruling over us. And I read most of the scriptures. I don't deny all the teachings. I just believe there's universal power and all those things. So as I'm going through, like you're breaking barriers as an independent artist, like you've had to navigate the complexities of the modern like music industry. As you said, there's like challenges where you try to write songs. You've been helped by YouTube. Like, what have been the biggest challenges, and how have you been able to push through to reach your audience?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge is to be an independent artist is a very tough thing because you are on your own. You have no help from the industry. The big artists, obviously, they do their art and then give it to, the promoters. The promoters that have, um, obviously, they have certain ways of promoting. It's easier to get on Spotify playlists, for example. If you're part of a record label, you can get on Vevo and then they would promote your music video. As an independent artist, you have to do all of this yourself. So you have to, if you want to promote your video, you have to, go on YouTube or Spotify. You have to try to pitch independently. Like for Spotify, you would pitch to, for example, playlist owners, and you would say, "Hey, I have this song, and would you mind putting it on your playlist, for example?" So that's kind of the process of an independent artist. For YouTube, you would have to run ads. You would have to do Facebook ads or YouTube ads to have people see your content. And that's how you would start off as an independent artist. Once you've developed a following, then you don't have to necessarily do a lot of ads. Then your following will, push that forward. But it takes a while for that to happen. It takes a lot of hard work. So for any new artist, I think the best way to start off is, you know, start on Spotify and try to get on, promote your song with Facebook ads or, try to get on some playlists and then see if there is if you're breaking any ground and then go from there. A lot of people are doing really well. Some independent artists are doing really, really well and they're able to break ground. They're actually doing better than regular artists. So depends. It all depends on your luck. So the music industry, a lot of it is luck, and a lot of it is who you know as well. For someone who has kind of like a message like me, it's more not making popular music, but rather this kind of music. It's more difficult because it's harder to break ground, right? If I'm making a dance number, for example, a pop number, then it's easier to promote that track. But for a track that actually has meaning, with, if it's a Christian track, it's more difficult to get out there. So we're very happy with what so far the success that we've had with Just Human and the fact that a lot of people like the song. So we're very happy with that. And we wanted to reach as many people as we can, as it can, to get the message out. So, and we're going to try to continue to
Yeah,
share
thank,
this, um, what I do is I share the song on different Facebook groups, share it on my social media, some aspect of the song every day. On Instagram, share it on YouTube Shorts. I make shorts every day to try to get people to see the video. So that's kind of what you have to do as an independent artist. So yeah, no,
and I even
it's very
appreciate.
tough. Yeah. So, but if you have a passion, then you'll find your way. You'll find your way. Um, people who have a passion. Like for example, looks like you have a passion for interviewing people. So you're finding a way with what you are doing, and you're going to be successful in what you're doing, God willing, and
Thank you,
you'll do
man. Thank
well
you. Thank you,
because
man.
you are pursuing that.
Thank
So if
you.
you want to pursue something, then then you have to put 100% into it. You have to put your passion, your heart into it. And uh, sooner or later, you will see the results of what you're doing as well. And I wish you the best of luck with what you're doing.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it, especially coming from you. Yeah, thanks, man.
No
So
problem.
another question I have for you, it's about your collaborations. You worked with Hisham Faisal Siddiq on Miracuda, blending Eastern and Western elements. How did this collaboration come about, and like, and what can we expect from like similar future projects?
Yeah, so I was on Instagram and I had come across some of his music. So I got in touch with him to see if he would be willing to work with me. I really loved his music and because he's a classically trained Qawwali singer from Pakistan. So he's a very, very, very talented person. So I wanted to work on a project with him where I was in the US and he was in a different country. And we wanted to do a music video combining both of our clips from each country. So this was all done during COVID, where I was doing my recording on my side, he was doing his recording, and then we came together. Obviously, with modern technology, you can work with people across the world, just like we're speaking right now, with music too. So we had an idea and we started with the lyrics of the song. And then we had a basic composition for that song, and we would communicate through WhatsApp and also through emails, and we still do. So whenever he has a good idea, he kind of WhatsApps me, and so that's how it all started. And then he did kind of his part in a studio over there. He sent me his vocals, and I did my part here, and then I had it mixed and mastered here locally with 50/50 Studios in Dallas, Texas. So it was a joint effort. And then he did his video shooting over there in Pakistan. I did my video shooting here in the US. And, I did a lot of the editing myself because I'm an independent artist. I try to do as much work as I can myself. So I do a lot of the vocal recording in my studio at home. I do basic composition at home. If I need to outsource composers or work with someone else, I'll get them on board. But I do a lot of the basic composition um, myself, spend a lot of time doing that until we build up to a good product. So sometimes we scrap the whole song and then start with a new song. So it takes time to make a song, obviously, right? Sometimes it takes up to a month. Just Human took a while to make because the song had to say the right stuff, but not be too blunt either, and it had to be a song which had to be more of a heartwarming song that wouldn't offend anyone in a way, but also say the truth at the same time. So, because both, we have people fighting with each other and they don't care for each other. They're both killing innocents and doesn't matter who they are. Um, so we had to kind of make a song like that where, we need to have humanity think as far as what they're doing and why are they doing what they're doing? Is it because of your history or is it because of you've been taught a certain way? And so we really need to break ice on humanity, I feel, and have them think more.
You've been
So yeah, no,
inspired
that's
by
with
a
Faisal.
wide.
It was yeah, I loved working with Faisal and Mera Khuda was a song which did really well. And it was played here locally on radio as well. It's still a favorite, one of my favorites. Um, and it's a song about obviously cherishing God, what God gives you, what God gave you. I don't know if you understand the song. It's in Urdu. Uh, Mere Khuda, Mere Mola, Teri Rahmaton ka Shukriya. We're thankful for your blessings. Basically, that's what the song is about. And then it speaks about, God's blessing. Food is a blessing of God. The air, everything is a blessing of God. Whatever you see around you is a blessing from God. So that's what the song is about. And
So just
I'm
before,
a very, yeah. So obviously, I have songs in Urdu, in Hindi, in Arabic. I do some Quran chanting, and I've been doing that classical Quran chanting for a while since I was a kid. That's kind of my spiritual mode. That's kind of my thinking mode, and to get me into a very spiritual level. Everyone has something they do to get them spiritual and or thinking about God. And for me, that's the Quran. And for someone else, it may be meditation, or it may be chanting in church, or doing some reading from Psalms, or reading from the Bible. Whatever it may be to get you thinking in a positive way is good for you. And as long as you're not becoming negative in any way, um, so anything can be used for positive or negative. So if you want to, it kind of depends on what kind of person you are, because there are people in every religion who use religion for bad and use it for good. So you want to take the positive aspects of your religion and use that for positivity to spread love.
well said, man. Well said. Just before you wrap up, because I know you're a busy man and you're doing great and amazing work there.
No, I thank you
You
for
found,
having me here. And yeah,
it's just a pleasure to have you, man. It's a pleasure. Interesting conversation. I've learned a lot. I'm sure the audience will be
mm,
actually grateful to even hear that I'm interviewing the great Mohammed K Paika. You founded One Essence
I'm not great.
Productions.
I'm just just a regular person doing doing
So
what
humble,
I
man.
can with whatever God gave me. So I'm using the tools He gave me to try to spread a good message, and that's all it is. And I'm thankful to God that He gave me whatever tools I have, and I hope that God continues to give me tools to spread good messages to humanity. And that's the purpose kind of my life, is just um, to awaken humanity and to get people loving one another again. So, and I see that you're a good human being. I can tell you're a good human being. And tell me more about yourself. What is your background? What do you do?
Oh, you want me to? Okay, I can share with the audience. I'm sure the audience know me. Okay, let's just wait. Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm just
just briefly.
finishing
Yeah.
my undergrad. I'm finishing my undergrad degree in geological science next year.
Very nice.
Um,
Hmm.
Started this podcasting journey in July. So had the privilege of interviewing prominent figures in South Africa, the likes of Ellen Craig, the founder of Mixit, a dating app that was booming in the last decade. You know, interviewed so many big guys, and I'm looking forward to interview like big entrepreneurs across Africa and the United States because I'm just so um, interested and so inspired by the work and what they did and stuff like that because my theme is I want to educate the youth and also myself too, you know, because I'm not narcissistic. I don't know anything. I want to learn too, you know, because I've seen the gap between the education system of entrepreneurship in South Africa compared to the United States because United States there's a lot of podcasts related to interviewing big entrepreneurs. You find it, you just search on YouTube, you're gonna find boom, Ty Lopez, Gary V, you know, and stuff like that. You're gonna find all these guys. They just all over different things of
Yeah.
podcasting, different industries. So that's what my thinking because I like these topics. I like philosophy. I like I just like experimenting, just like exploring. That's why I chose geology. You know, because if I wanted to do philosophy, I could have just took a book. I like philosophy. I'll just read philosophy. I'll just read psychology in any book I'll find online. But you won't find a book related to geological science. You can read a geological science book, but you won't get to experience the practical work, which is the minerals and stuff like that. That's why I just like
Mm.
for the grid work, I'll just learn the grid work in the practical work, in the practical industries, learning mines, minerals, exploration, stuff like that, prospect, yeah, all those things. But my thing that I want to learn that I can't find anywhere is the knowledge that I can get from guys like you, guys who I'll never find anywhere, right? So yeah, so that's me. That's
Oh,
me.
you have
That's the
I
crazy
saw
me.
your channel there. Yeah, I saw your channel. You have a lot of big
Always,
people on there. Very, very well respected people. So, and
um,
that's a great way to learn is yeah, try to get people and learn from their experiences. Uh, and I wish your channel good luck, and I wish for you to get 1 million subscribers as the time goes, more than 1 million subscribers. And uh, the more people you have, the more your channel is going to grow, I think. So and this is a great thing that you've started. It's a great thing.
Thank you, man. So just before we wrap up, I just want to
Hmm.
get into like your future projects, and because that's my theme. What message do you want to send out there to any aspiring entrepreneur who's looking up to Mohammed K Paika? Because there's like a 10-year kid who's just looking at the guy and like, okay, I want to get to that level, but how can I get to that level? What are the strings attached, in this journey? Like, because yeah, it's rough there. It's coming from India. We might share the same, journey, because
Yeah,
India's is not a, so like
yeah, yeah,
some person is looking into this interview now, wants to learn. Yeah, if you could just share
yeah.
and
No,
they will
for
learn more.
yeah, no. First, you have to find out what your passion is, whether it's music or geology or art. First, find your passion, and then you have to start somewhere, right? You have to get that message out. If you're an artist, for example, you need to start a Instagram channel or put your art out somewhere on Facebook, Instagram. Have people see your work. And if you want to be a radio jockey or podcast interviewer, have people see your work. The first thing is you put in your hard work first, and then be consistent with it. So you have to be consistent. If in today's day and age, if you're not consistent, then it's easy to drop off. Even with music, you have to be very consistent as an independent artist. And if you release a song every couple of months, that's good. Every month is even better, you know. So consistency will help you and to building anything, whether it's a YouTube channel, Spotify um, growth, or Instagram growth, is be consistent with what you're doing, no matter where you're from, and have a message. If you're just on social media to fool around, then that's one thing. But if you have a message behind what you're doing, that's then there's a benefit in what you're doing. Use social media, use the internet for a to give people a good message and for doing something positive. And that's what these tools are for. It's a tool. It's like a knife. You could use a knife to kill someone or to, cut food and serve someone food. So it becomes a good tool in that way. So social media, internet is the same kind of thing. You want to use it to your benefit as much as you can. So that's my advice is to the youth, youngsters, is use social media to your benefit. If you're on TikTok, TikTok, people are very, they fool around a lot on TikTok. But if you use TikTok in a positive way, use it to spread a message or, maybe gather funding for, charity or something like that, then it could be beneficial, right? It's a beneficial. It all depends on your intention at the end of the day. And there's no harm in having fun. There's no harm in dancing or singing, or there's no harm in it. We're all humans in the end of the day, and we're not we have all kinds of things within us. We're not just always supposed to be serious all the time and, studying, or, we have everything within us. We have God's attributes within us, which means we should laugh, we should cry, we should dance, we should sing, we should watch TV, but we should study, we should work hard, we should do as much as we can, but be positive at the same time, is my message.
Thank you, man. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great wisdom. Thank you for being a guest on
Yeah.
my show. It's an honor to have you here. I'm just so grateful, and just keep sharing your message. Keep spreading good to humanity. We appreciate that as the come ups, and we truly appreciate your wisdom, your thoughts, your cultural diverse intellect. It's a great
Thank
message
you
you're
very
sending
much.
there, and just keep on growing, man. And I wish God could help you grow more your channel, and just keep flourishing. And thank you, man. It's a pleasure having the show.
Depths of my heart, wish takes flight, troubled by affections, waging an endless fight. Children held ransom by cruelty contrived, bombs raining down, shattering lives. Through ages and teachings, what have we gained if we can't set aside our weapons and refrain? No matter the side, when wrong is strong, peace is the answer where we all belong. Just you more, let's be. Just you more, let's see. Just you more, you and me. Let's come together and be free. Forget political, forget religious divide. Embrace our humanity, let compassion abide. All special to God.